Hi guys, welcome back to Purpose Podcast. I'm John Devlin. On today's show, we will be talking about how to change your mindset and frequency, how to tap into your body and energy. Carrie from the legendary Bob Proctor's Institute will be joining us on today's show. And guys, I have one quick thing to ask. Please hit the like and subscribe and leave a comment. This helps to grow and improve our channel and improve our content. Thanks guys. Hi guys, welcome to Purpose Community Podcast. And on today's show, we have Carrie McDonald. Welcome, Carrie.
Hey Johnny, thank you so much for inviting me on.
Good to see you, Carrie, and appreciate you coming on board today. So, Carrie is a life coach and I would say mentor. Would that be right?
Yeah.
And how we came about is how these jigsaws in life, these puzzles come together. I met Carrie through a friend, and what I had understood was Carrie was into mindset, and I was quite intrigued about where she was going with this and what this all involved. Me personally, my own journey involved in mindset, frequency, and so I was quite interested in getting talking with Carrie, and I guess it's in terms of helping, a bit like myself with what I do, and helping others and working with others in my life, and helping people take their power back. And I guess a bit similar to my own direction once again is that you're steering people in a direction of how to steer their life back in the right direction. So Carrie is trained as a consultant with the legendary Bob Proctor Gallagher Institute, and she was mentored by Bob Proctor. Also a student of Joe Dispenza, and these two workings of these giants probably changed the landscape of many people's lives. Certainly has involved in my own life. And Carrie I would suppose you would be blending the work of these two guys hand in hand, and to teach people the why and the how, and what is behind the transformation. So I'm keen to hear more about it, Carrie. So over to you.
Yes. Thanks, Johnny. Yes. My background is in education. I've worked in schools for many years, and my degree is in education. And I'm always passionate about learning. And unfortunately, in our education system, they don't teach you how to, develop these skills of transforming your life. Yes, we learn English and maths and all those core subjects, which we need. But the education system doesn't look at that other side of our lives where we can, develop our mindset and, equipping us with those tools to develop resilience and to be able to deal with challenges in our lives and, how to overcome those. So, it's just life experience that, got me into this work. And I think that makes you even more passionate when you have the actual experience and not because you read it in a book, because this actually impacted my life. And I use these tools to overcome massive challenges in my life. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. I think it's important to be an example to people and to practice what you preach. And there's no point in me saying, oh, look at Bob Proctor's work, look at Joe Dispenza, if I don't do that.
Yeah.
So I teach that work because I personally do it myself, and I have actual results that it does work.
So so there is facts, right? There is results. We know of these guys. The work that you're doing, I guess what I'm thinking is people that are struggling with addiction, people struggling with stress, anxiety, depression, all of these things in their lives. And there is, the world, as we know it, a lot of things are going on, and I guess everybody has things going on in their lives. So how would people tap into this stuff, and what does that look like, in terms of how they taking their power back, how do they incorporate this, or where do they start, and what does that mean?
Okay. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think, first of all, anyone who's struggling with any of those on the list that you talked about there, the first thing to know is that you're not on your own, because you're probably like most of the population and on the planet. Everyone's struggling with some sort of addiction or stress or some sort of emotional trauma. We all have those, things going on in our lives. So first of all, you're not alone. The second thing is to know that there is something that can be done. There is a way out. You may be in a hole right now, but I promise you there is always a way out of that. And it comes, first of all, with knowing that, and then making a decision if you want to do something about it. Because I'm so passionate about people taking back their power, because within all of us, we're all locked up with all unlimited potential. And it just happens to be we need to learn about that. We need to have the knowledge and the theory behind that. And I think that's really important that we have that understanding, because I think once you know, particularly from a scientific point of view, the way your brain works, the way your heart works, and you have all of that to use to your advantage in order to change your life for the better. So I'm so passionate about people learning the information first of all. And then, there's a saying, knowledge is power, but I don't know if I really agree with that. Knowledge is only powerful if you do something with it, and I think we're also living in this culture now of, we have this thirst for knowledge and we love reading books and we love gathering all the information. But the thing is, we don't actually a lot of people don't do something about it, because when it comes to taking action, that's the difficult bit. That's the challenge. And I think also when you're being coached, something that I do, life coaching, is I do both parts. I give you all of the knowledge and the theory behind what you're doing and why you're doing it. And then I also I'm there as an accountability partner, so that you will show up and actually take the action. Because if you don't take the action, nothing's changing. You can meditate in bed all
day
you want,
long,
but it was like myself, and I always make fun of myself, and I use myself as an example. I meditated for so long on going to the gym and being really fit and healthy, and said affirmations in the mirror and wrote out little goals. But it was like, no, you actually just need to go to the gym. I was doing everything to try and avoid not going to the gym.
I think that's a bit like, in my active alcoholism days, I was like that, where I was praying to get out of this sticky situation, whatever the case may be, and whereas today I've recovered alcoholic, and but that leads me to, when you talk about a decision, there's procrastination, there's, making decisions and not taking the action, and a bit like myself, that separation that came from me, that through that, I would say that to concede or to admit, first and foremost, this intuition, to admit that I couldn't do it anymore, so to let this idea in, so that's like your intuition, whenever something happens, or your life's not going well, it's not going great. So intuition is like, your teacher, and your intuition is your inner being, your inner power, your inner source as such, so that's for me anyway, that made me, but it's taking the action, because as you said, nothing changes if nothing changes.
That's it, Johnny. And I actually like the way you said that. I've never heard that phrase like that, but it is. We all have this unlimited potential, but it's locked up inside us, and most of us need that help to get it out. So we all have the potential, but mostly we need support in understanding what it is and how to delve into it and learn about it, and then how to unleash that. That's where coaches come into play. I think what happens, okay, we talk about action a lot, okay, but people don't understand what actually is stopping them from taking action. And that's where people go, well, I've tried before, I've never got the results, so I'm giving up. But the thing is, if they don't understand the root cause of that, and it's buried in the subconscious mind, we have a mental program that is running in the subconscious mind. It controls everything in your life. It controls,
just like a computer.
Like a computer, you have a program installed into that computer. So people may want that computer to perform a different action, and they could simply tap on the screen and want it to perform a different action. And if it doesn't do that, they think the computer's broke. It's not broken. You just need to get into the program. You need to write a new program. But you first have to understand how the programming works. And we have a program that will stop us from taking action. because if you think about it, I think just even visualize a circle. That's your mind. The circle represents your mind, and the bottom half of the circle is your subconscious mind. And in that bottom half, I always draw a little square, like a box, living inside the box. We all know that term. That little box is controlling your whole life, because that's where your program, that's the code of the program is written into that box. It determines your discipline, it determines your standards, your ability to focus, your ability to stick to something. It determines your habits and your behaviors and all of your emotional reactions. So people are wishing for a change in their life, but you're only using the top part of that circle, the top part of your mind. And that top part only has a strength of 5% against the program, which is 95%. You're fighting against. You're fighting a giant here.
It's like a losing battle you're fighting against.
Losing battle. So you can win the battle, but you need to understand first how it works, and then you need to understand the process of how to get in there. And it is about taking action. But if you don't understand, well, what's getting in the way of me taking action? Lots of things. First, not having the understanding of what's going on. Second, fear. Fear stands in the way, and your self-doubt, you have a disbelief that it's impossible or it's not meant for you. Happiness is meant for everybody else and not you. So it's also looking at the belief system. So we have all of that going on, and people don't really understand, and they're questioning, well, why hasn't this worked for me? Well, this is why, because you haven't got to the root source. And that's what I do in my work, help people first understand what's going on at the deep core, and then we start the process of unwinding that.
So that essentially can be from childhood, all these, what they've been brought up with, whether internal or external things that have gone on, the way they've been brought up or whatever the case may be, those traumas. So it's those beliefs that they have been installed in their subconscious mind from growing up, those limiting beliefs, so essentially this is to reprogram the subconscious mind.
Yeah, totally. We have that saying, a child's mind's like a sponge. So if you think of that circle, and that circle is sliced in half and it's opened up wide, your subconscious mind from the age of 0 to 7 roughly. So in the last trimester in the womb, you are programmed. So in the womb, we are programmed genetically. So that's why you look like your parents. You have those sort of traits from your parents. But when you're born, up till around the age of 7, you're programmed environmentally. And what that means is your mind is totally open. There's no filter. So you, in your younger life, you don't have the ability to analyze. You don't have an analytical mind. So you can't filter out what's real and what's not real. And that's why, children, believe in Santa as they're young, because they believe everything they're told, until they start getting around that age, maybe 8, 9, they start questioning it, and because they have the analytical abilities. But before that, they didn't. So they believe in Santa. They might have also believed, you're not worthy, you're not good enough. Even based on, when we were in school, if you got your report card, and based on the letter A, B, C, D, or the number, the score that you got, you were treated accordingly to that score or that letter.
Yeah.
So, they say from the age of primary 1, even if the children aren't told by the teacher, they all know what reading group they're in, whether in the top group or the bottom, because they're treated accordingly. They will be treated like a smart student or a not so smart student. And then that starts impacting your self-esteem and who you believe you are.
100%, because actually you just give me a flashback there of the getting the
reports. What group were you in?
I was in lower class now, but it just brought me back to getting those reports. It started off well in school, and then sort of hit about that third year, and then it started all going downhill, But I know what you're talking about, because you're going against the categorized, and whenever you're getting that report back, then I didn't reach that target, so that's automatically I don't feel good enough. It's your self-esteem, low self-worth. So it does, an impact from primary school right through secondary school, and that's where it all can. You talked about the fear, and that sets this ball of trains in motion on how things are going to impact in areas and decisions you make in your life.
Yeah.
But
because if you think all the exams are set up for you to succeed, they want you to succeed. They want you to get the A or the A star. So then when we fail, if you want to call the word failure, then I think that's where it probably is coming from. We all have this fear to fail. even within business. I even said this the other day. I was doing a workshop the other day, and we were talking about failure, and we were talking about the childhood stuff. And I said, you know what? See my failures. I'm going to capitalize on my failures, because see every failure that I don't call them failures. I call them lessons.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm actually going to document them all and put it in a book, and I'm going to sell it sometime in the future to entrepreneurs to say, learn from my mistakes. So I'm actually going to take that and make it into something positive.
But the key, those past things that we've all experienced are the keys to the future, and as what you're saying is for where how we can help others to, my past, life experiences are now put to good use,
Yes,
and that's
absolutely.
they're totally those. I don't say them as you said as failures. They're life lessons and life experiences, and I don't regret. I mean, certain things have happened, and I've been able to sort those things out. But they're all life lessons where I can put those to of good use today and helping other people.
Yeah.
Like yourself.
Yeah, well, that's what it's whether you choose to do that. Some
Yeah.
people will think they're so deep in the hole that there's no way out of it, when actually there's always the way out, and you can use your pain.
Yeah.
And I think that's more, it's more authentic, isn't it? I think,
Yeah.
When you've actually lived those experiences, it makes your story more exciting and interesting. And then I think people will buy in more to what it is you're doing,
Yeah.
because you've been there and you've done that.
So in terms of taking the power back, can you talk about what exactly, what does that look like? What is this, this meditation? What is, not everybody sitting around in a room, or what's that looking like? Or
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll do that in two halves. So let's do taking your power back. We live in a culture where being a victim is celebrated. I'm a victim, and I know there's genuine victimization. People in war-torn countries, people starving to death, they're genuine victims. Okay, and in our lives, we have all been genuine victims. We've all been hurt somewhere in our past. Okay. The thing is, are you going to let that define you for the rest of your life? Or are you going to say, do you know what, I'm going to learn from that, and I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen to my child, or I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen to anyone else. So a lot of people can get really swallowed up by the feeling and the identity of being a victim, and they actually love it.
wallow in it.
Yes, they love that.
That self-pity, that woe is me type
Woe
thing.
is
Yeah.
me. It's like putting on a costume,
Yeah.
and this is me. I am the victim, and they love to blame everyone else. They don't want to take responsibility for the way their lives are going right now. It's easier to blame someone else. Okay, self-responsibility is really hard. To just say,
To be
"Do you know what?
accountable. Yeah.
My life is totally up to me. My results are fully on me. The buck ends with me." A lot of people don't want to do that, because it is easier to blame other people, because a lot of people don't want to look at themselves, and it's so easy to look at our siblings and our friends and go, oh my God, she's just like her mummy, she's just like her daddy. But it's so hard to look at ourselves, and actually, so it's like being inside the jar and you can't read the label on the outside. That's what so taking your power back is all about, first of all, acknowledging it is your life. Self-responsibility, I really believe, Bob says it all the time, it's the key to freedom. If you just step into your own shoes and say, do you know what, see, from this day forward, okay, I've had a hard past, I've had traumatic things happen to me, okay, but from this day forward, I'm not going to let that define me no more. As hard as it is, and I'm sure you have a justified reason to be angry at something that happened in the past, or to be hurt, fine, no one's trying to take that away from you. But the thing is, if you don't stop and you don't cut that emotional tie to your past, your body and brain actually think you're still living in the past,
In that
20
environment.
years ago. Yeah.
And you got to what is it? You're subject of your environment unless you change that environment. You become and then also become addicted to that,
Yes.
environment. And
Yeah.
that's where a lot of, as you're saying, that cutting off. Some people can't cut that cord. Some people don't want to make that choice, that decision to separate and stay in that place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I always, go back to the example of, let's think of every single movie has a hero, a villain, a guide, and a victim. Okay, so if you think in every movie, the victim, the only reward you get as a victim is sympathy and pity. And actually, most of the time, they're really annoying, aren't they? They're just annoying. These people, and they just go, poor me, poor me, poor me. And it's like, I'm sorry, but come on. There is so much help out there. You can do something about that. Not you're only hurting yourself.
Yeah.
That's the only person. You're not hurting your ex. People who are still angry at their ex. Okay, right. I'm sure you have a justified reason for that. But, Joe Dispenza says this all the time. What if we strap your ex to a rocket and send him to the moon? You're going to have to stop being angry. Or are you going to find someone else to be angry at? Because that's usually what we do.
Yeah.
So it's not the person. We're addicted to the anger, the emotion of anger, or guilt, or shame. It goes on. Victimization is also addictive. People want to be addicted to being the victim because it lets them off the hook. So the thing is, you have a choice. You can stay as a victim all you want. It's your life. No one's here to tell you what's right or wrong. But just know that you're not really going to get all the things that you want out of life because you have to leave that identity behind. That's the hard bit, Johnny. People are afraid to literally take that costume off, the skin, take it off, and step into something new.
Like peeling the layers of an onion.
Yes. Yeah. So people don't want to let go of that because they're afraid. And then it's responsibility.
And vulnerability too, isn't it? People don't want to be vulnerable. They want to put that persona, that mask on that front,
Yeah.
And, it's to strip away those layers is, leads to that vulnerability. And that's another whole different thing. But I think you got to be, to grow and to, to learn more about yourself, you have to, you got to experience all of that.
Yeah, and I mean, even like if I'm thinking back to my own circumstances from my past, divorce, lost my home, had to go back and live with my parents. After I sort of got over that, and I was actually thinking about this yesterday because I was thinking about the podcast today, and I just realised I hate people feeling sorry for me. I personally, I hate that. If someone was going, okay, I feel sorry for her, I hate that. And I think I've always been like that as a person. I understand I probably need to talk to someone, get things off my chest, like we all do. But I hate being pitied. I
think, but whenever you've come through an experience like yourself, like myself, that you start to outgrow that. For when people are, you don't want to be that person that people are feeling sorry for you, or you're just like, It
is. So let's go back to the film then. Okay, so we have the victim, annoying. Then we have the hero. So Daniel in The Karate Kid is the hero.
Yeah.
Mr. Miyagi is the guide.
Yes.
He's the one that has the knowledge and the experience of that thing, the karate. So that's who I would be in your story if you were working with me. I'm not the hero. I'm the guide. I'm only supporting you because I've got myself out of that hole and I know how to get you out if you want the help.
Yeah.
You're the hero. And the hero is the person who understands, okay, do you know what? I acknowledged my past and I have challenges that I need to overcome. But I'm prepared to do it. And look at Daniel. He went through the training. Yeah, he still got beat up by the bullies and he still had to go through some difficult times in that training, but he won at the end. So if you look at your life that way, if you came and worked with a life coach, is it going to be all rosy and sunshine and rainbows? No. That's toxic positivity, is not what they call it. And that annoys me because I actually I'm going to actually say this. I was doing a workshop recently and I put this slide on the screen and I do it in this way to just cause a bit of shock, to make sure they're all paying attention to me first of all, and then I go in, and also a bit of humor, and then I go in and explain what I mean, right? So the slide said, here's a hard truth: thinking positive doesn't work. And this girl challenged me. She actually went, I don't agree with you.
Real head turner, was it?
And then I put, the picture of Robert Downey Jr. doing, the eyes, he's rolling the eyes. She's like, this is my face when I see all these wee positive quotes. But she jumped in right away and she wanted to challenge me on that. Well, I think it can change your life because, it can, be an injector for you to go on and do something. I says, well, she says, I disagree with you. And I says, it's okay that we disagree, but let me get in and explain what this slide is about. And what I mean is thinking positively on its own. That's what I should have put in my slide. So I learned from that. Thinking positively on its own will not change your life because you're only using, remember, the conscious part of your mind to think positively. It's only 5%. Now, it can be the injector for you to take action. And that's what that girl meant. And I says, well, that's what I was going to explain. If you take the action, yes, it can change your life. But if you are sitting there all day thinking, yeah, I'm happy, your body's saying, no, you're not, you're miserable. because the body is now the mind. The body is in control of you. You're not in control, because the body can, like myself, teleport you to the fridge and eat the Twix, even though you said you weren't going to do it. You know, the body is an animal. The body's in control, and so that positive thought doesn't even make it past the stem of your brain, because the body will tell you what's going on. And if your body feels miserable, you're going to stay miserable, and the body is then craving events and other people to keep making it feel miserable. The body loves that feeling because it's familiar.
So I guess that leads me into talking about the body, the mind, this frequency, this energy, and I suppose that all through meditation and stuff. And could you talk about some of that in terms of this energy and frequency and what that sort of really means with the body and the mind?
Yes, of course. So whenever I start talking about energy, I will relate it to, your Wi-Fi router, if you're with Sky or Virgin. And, I'll say, so we know there's Wi-Fi going into that, but we can't see the Wi-Fi. But we know it's there. So we all agree that the Wi-Fi exists, even though we can't see it. It exists on a frequency. Well, that's the same also with the energy. We all have an energy field around our bodies. And this is science. This is not woo-woo, because there's so much science to show this now. So we all have an energy field around our body, and it's like a broadcast system. So if you think of yourself as a station on the radio, like you're Cool FM, I'm Q Radio, we're on total different frequencies. So if I wanted to get to Cool FM, I have to change my frequency. Now, how do you do that? Well, you change it by changing your energy. And your energy is made up of three things: how you think, how you feel, and how you behave. That is how you change. Your life will not change. I cannot get to Cool FM until I change the frequency. And the frequency is my thoughts, my feelings, and my behaviours. And that's what I, help people to, get in, install in the habits to start doing that one at a time. You don't change 10 things at a time. You just start off by changing one behaviour that you don't like. And then let's change the thoughts and the feelings that go with that. And then you practice it. So in meditation, in our bodies, when we have these traumatic events that happened in the past, or highly emotionally charged events. So, for example, if I said to you, Johnny, what were you doing on the 1st of February this year?
No idea.
Yeah, you had no idea. But what were you doing on 9/11? Do you know where you were?
Can't think exactly where I was 9/11 now, to be fair.
Really? Everybody can usually say where they were or what they were wearing. I was in school. Right. On that day. Do you remember when you heard the news, 9/11, the planes hit the towers?
I do. I'm getting a flashback, but I can't think just now exactly where I was, to be fair.
Well, the thing is, most people remember 9/11 because they don't remember last week, but they remember 20 odd years ago, because it was a highly emotional event. And the higher the emotion of that event in your life, anything's happening in your life, your brain takes this snapshot, because the brain is all about survival. It wants you to survive no matter what. And it will detail every, thing about that event, because it wants to be able to predict that if this happens again, we can ensure her or his survival. So let's take in all the details. So that when we go through these different difficult challenges in our past, that energy can get trapped in our bodies. Those emotions can get trapped in our bodies. And we have these energy centers. People call them chakras. I stick to, I just say energy centers. And we have 7 in our body, and the 3 lower ones. So, between your legs, at your belly button, and your solar plexus, they're your 3 lower. And they say if there's energy trapped in there, you're living in survival. Most people are living in stress. Okay. So again, people don't really understand how they can't cut from the past, because your body still feels, it's still trapped in your body, that energy
from the past.
It's still trapped in there, and you need to understand how to get that out of your body, and also how to regulate your nervous system so that you go back to balance, so you go back to homeostasis. We can deal with short-term stress. We are built for short-term stress, and short-term stress is good at times because it gets you to do things. If you have a deadline, it gets you to sort of move your butt and get things done.
But it creates sickness too.
That's chronic stress then. So short-term stress is okay, but if you keep the stress going over and over and over,
you can
over
make yourself,
years,
you can think yourself sick.
Totally.
And you can think yourself into healing.
Yes, you can. So you don't have to have a physical tagger outside that's going to kill you, like the caveman days.
Yeah.
The only stresses they had was not having enough food, or there was a tagger going to get them. But in this day and age, we're facing so much more psychological stress because we don't need to have a physical tagger. You can just have one thought about your mother-in-law or a co-worker, your boss, or something that happened 20 years ago. But your brain and body, remember, think it's happening right now in this moment. So you've switched on the little switch, the fight or flight response. Yeah. And that's your stress mode. You've turned that on, and your body is so intelligent. So when we need to have that stress response turned on, it's to save our lives, to either fight for our lives or to run away. Say you're standing on a train track, you would need that to come on so that you can run off the train track and save your life. But the thing is, we can just turn that on by just thinking about something that happened 20 years ago, and the brain will think it's still happening. And when we turn that stress response on, all of your extremities go to your arms, all your energy and all your blood go to your arms and your legs to get you to prepare to run or fight. So it has to shut the immune system down to do that. So what's happening then if you keep that on, that stress response on all the time, the immune system still shut down. What happens then? We start getting sick. We don't have the healing inside us to fight off viruses and flus and diseases, because we're still thinking. If you're in a state of crisis, it's not a time to heal. Your body's not trying to heal.
No.
Your body's saying she needs to run and fight for her life.
Protect itself.
Yeah, so all of that can get caught up in the body. And thankfully, through meditation and breath, which we will cover in my workshop next month, we're going to learn then how to get that energy out of those 3 lower centers and push your energy up into your brain so that you free yourself up to actually use that energy. Energy is like currency. It's like money.
Yeah.
You're wasting your money. You're wasting your energy on things from the past, on your troubles, on your pain, people that you don't even like, and you're giving them headspace in your mind. So the thing is, let's free up your energy so you can push it up into your brain, and you can actually then create something for yourself, something for you, a better outcome.
Sounds awesome, doesn't it?
It's amazing.
I think a lot of people, I mean, I don't know, manifestation, and some people might think, oh, this stuff's all a bit airy-fairy, but I totally, from my own experience, things work, and things happen, but you got to take, as you're saying, it takes time, it takes, taking action, What about manifestation? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, totally. We are all manifestors. We're all creators. Manifesting is creating something in your life. You have I would explain it to people as you're a co-creator. You are creating your life with the divine intelligence. People will say, what's that? Some people say God. Some people say source or energy or the one. I say in my personal life, I say God. Yeah. But when I'm working, I'll say divine intelligence, because
not
everybody believes in God, and I
likes
always
the word God.
that.
They have the antipathy around that word.
Yes, because religion does separate us. Yeah. It divides. Culture and religion divide us. So that's why I do like sticking to scientific terms. So I won't say chakras, because that can put people off. That seems like a spiritual term. So I won't say that. So I like to just stick to science. I think most people will agree. We can all come and agree with the science then. Yeah. So
the science is there to back it up.
Yeah. That's why I refer to Joe Dispenza's work, because it can seem airy-fairy. And I think once people understand there's actual science to say energy around your body, your energy centers, this energy is trapped in your body, because he does all the research and he does the brain scans and all of that. So I think then people sort of let their guard down and then they accept it a wee bit more. But we are co-creators. We're creating our lives. We
are all as one. We are all as one in this universe as such. So we are all equal. And whether we are God, creative intelligence, universe, we're all creating. And I do believe that in manifestation, you can, create your life, but you have to do things. I think, if you're holding on to the past experiences, you can't move forward. You can't be present. You can't be in the now. You gotta, you have to make changes.
Yeah, it is. I think with the manifestation, it's so popular now, and it is great. I'm delighted that it's a word that it's used now so commonly, in society. I think what people they're mixing it up, is they're thinking that they just need to put it out there, out there, just put it out there. And they think they just need to think about the thing and then they can have it. When actually, no, we're made to work. We have to work for something. Whether you like it or not, we have to work for something. So if you want something, Johnny, you're going to have to do something to get it. And that means change. Now, so we have to balance. So there's a fine line between intention and surrender. So let's talk about those. Intention means this is what I want. This is my goal. And I want to experience this in my life. But I know I'm going to have to do some things to get that. I'm going to have to change the way I think. I'm going to have to change the way I feel. And I'm going to have to change some behaviours. Or some negative behaviours and habits that I have going on. It could be procrastination. That's a negative habit. You're procrastinating.
It's a big one.
Yeah. So we have to do some things to get that. But also because you're a co-creator, you're creating your life with divine intelligence, because it knows how to create something way better than you. It knows how to heal your body more than you can. So that's what meditation's about. It's for you to come face to face with divine intelligence in that present moment through meditation.
So like taking downloads.
Have a connection. It's like going on a date with the love of your life. You're going to show up with some passion, So these people go, oh God, have to meditate. No, let's get passionate about this. And this is what I'm going to encourage you when you come to the workshop next week or next month. Let's get passionate here. You're going to meet the love of your life, who is divine intelligence, the creator of everything. You're going to meet this energy, this pure love, source, joy, everything. So let's go with some passion and love in our hearts. So when you're co-creating, you need to know what part you do, which is the intention, looking, checking your thoughts, your feelings and your behaviours. But then also you have to surrender. So this is where it's like a recipe. You got to get it right, okay? And you just play about with it. The surrender bit is you saying to divine intelligence, okay, this is what I want. I'll do my fair share. And then I will let you bring it to me at the right time, in the right circumstances, because you know better than me. And people don't want to do that, because why?
We love to,
of course, we love to control, we love to force, and we love to predict. Because that, again, it's all survival in the brain. So we got to then, so the way you can sum that up is you want to be awake in the brain and you want to be relaxed in your heart. So we close our hearts off when we don't trust.
Yeah.
When we've been hurt in the past and, we have anger and hatred, and we close the heart off, where we got to break the heart open. It's like cracking open the chains, breaking out of the prison. Got to crack the heart open. So you got to be awake in your brain and pay attention to the way you're getting on, the way you're behaving, and also having that trust that this will come at the perfect time for me. And I'm not looking for it. I'm just trying to be present.
It's like letting go and trusting the process.
Yes, let go and trust.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing, isn't it?
It is.
It's all going to happen in divine timing, as they say, isn't
Divine timing. And I'm sure if you look back in your life, you'll have plenty of experiences or examples where things were divinely timed. And you couldn't have even done that if you tried.
No, it's like those light bulb moments and you go, holy shit, that happened,
Yeah.
And that's why that happened. Whenever you put these pieces together, you go, there you go,
It's magic.
It is, and it's a really good experience, for anybody that that is struggling. There is a way out. Whether it's whatever traumas that you've experienced, addiction that you've experienced, there is a way out, and you aren't, as you've said, you're not alone.
Yeah.
And certainly reach out to myself, and Carrie, your Instagram handle, and what is your Instagram?
So you can just type in my name, Carrie Mc Donnell, and you'll see Elite Life Coaching or Life Coaching with Carrie, I think it is. But I can send you the link to that if you want to.
Cool. So if there's anybody wants to get in touch with Carrie, there you go. There's her details. You can reach out on Instagram.
I have my website also, Johnny. So it's
ahead.
just Confidence with Carrie, CARRIE.com. And they can go on and can look at everything, all the work I do, and if they want to come to the meditation workshop, that's next month in the Merchant Hotel. And
that's on the website?
Yeah, there's if they look up at the header, there's a link to take them to the work, get their tickets. It'll just say meditation workshop. They'll see that at the top. Yeah.
Okay, so look, guys, thanks very much. Thank you very much for coming in and talking with us
Oh,
on
my
today's
pleasure.
session.
Thank
So
you
it's
for
been
inviting
great.
me. Thank you,
So
Johnny.
be in touch and we'll talk soon. Thank you, Carrie.
All right. Thank you. Bye.